Good afternoon. Here in the second week of May, we have new updates for our community, including the business community. The federal government has announced a number of financial support programs over the last 3 months to help all of us as we try to get through the economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. It started with support for all Canadians who have lost their job or been laid off due to the health measures put in place for protection. Over the last 2 weeks, the federal government, in conjunction with the provinces, has announced funding measures for business, including rent relief for small businesses and housing benefit for low-income families seeking assistance. Tecumseh is home to many small businesses, and during this time, when they have had to shut their doors, their revenues have dropped while their expenses have continued. These expenses include commercial rent. The federal government reached an agreement with the provinces for the Canada Emergency Commercial Rent Assistance Program for small businesses. The program will overrent by 75% for small businesses that have been affected by COVID-19. Impacted small businesses are businesses paying less than $50,000 per month in rent and who have temporarily ceased operations or have experienced at least 70% drop in pre-COVID revenues. This support would also be available to nonprofit and charitable organizations. So I encourage all of our commercial property owners and our small business operators impacted by COVID to look into this program and find out when applications are being received. We know that this will help our local economy immensely. And I do also encourage our local residents to support our local businesses. Visit the website of Tecumseh businesses to see how they are operating during the pandemic and find ways to do your business with them. Last month, Canada and Ontario introduced the Canada-Ontario Housing Benefit to increase affordability of rental housing for qualifying individuals and households. This housing allowance provides an alternative to waiting for rent-geared-to-income housing. Your household may be eligible if you meet certain criteria. This monthly allowance is paid directly to you to assist with housing costs. It is not tied to a physical housing unit or a specific address. You can use the benefit to help pay your rent anywhere in Windsor, Essex. The program is being administered by the Windsor Essex Community Housing Corporation of Essex County. Please share this information with those in need. Yesterday, we announced the cancellation of our June recreation events. These events include the Power Off and Playground program, recreational swims, and lessons at our leisure pool, and the summer concert series in Lakewood Park, scheduled for Saturdays in the month of June. These cancellations are a result of the ongoing provincial orders due to COVID-19 pandemic. Details of July's events will be shared once we know more about provincial orders and recommendations from our local health unit. I want to thank our Parks and Recreation staff for developing additional ideas and activities that are found in our virtual recreation facility and spring maintenance of our public spaces. While the weather is starting to get nicer, we still need to be vigilant in our physical distancing and not our congregation. New cases of COVID-19 are going down in Ontario and locally, but that does not mean we should relax our approach. We know the virus is still in the community, and we must do our best to keep the new case numbers low until a vaccine is available. The town's parks are open for flow-through traffic, and we encourage people to use them for walking and taking fresh air. This week, the Premier also announced the reopening of provincial parks and conservation areas for day use only. Just in time for the long weekend, once again, I ask that people use these facilities responsibly and keep their distance from other park users. Tonight, we will hold our 4th electronic meeting of council. One of the items relates to the holding of electronic meetings. Council agreed to extend this participation to our local boards and committees, some of which will hold their first electronic meetings this week. Council continues to work on regular business while meeting electronically, and I send thanks to administration for their ongoing work on 2 emergency situations, the COVID-19 pandemic and flooding, in addition to our regular town businesses. While the office is closed to the public, our staff continues to conduct the business of the town and ensure our services are available and work continues. Please join us this evening at 7 p.m. at the live stream link on our website and social media to be part of the electronic meeting. Finally, speaking of council meetings, at the previous meeting on April 28, 2020, we discussed the decision by Post Media to close several local papers across Canada. One of those papers was the Shoreline Week right here in Tecumseh, and several other local publications in Essex County were also affected. Council and I were dismayed at this decision, as we know that many of our residents get their community news from this paper. And I expressed my sadness in a tweet on May 5th outlining that community newspapers are the lifeblood of small town Ontario. I received a response from Andrew McLeod, president of Post Media, who read my tweet and reached out to me last week. We shared a phone call where we discussed alternatives to print media, including an electronic newsletter at the community level. Mr. McLeod and I will have additional conversations on this, and I hope to share positive news with the community on how this develops in the very near future. For now, I encourage you to bookmark our website and sign up for our subscription services to get all of the town news and information going forward. I close today by thanking our community members and businesses for your continued perseverance at this time. We are seeing some positive movement at opening up our local economy and people getting back to work. We will continue to share updates and information, and we look forward to hearing from you. Talk to you on Friday. Thank you.